Jackpot Mike here. Welcome everybody. We're back playing Tokyo Crutch online games. I found this awesome Final Fantasy XIV light. It's a figure with like a light bulb in his head. And I figured out how to win this pretty easily. Now this is a standard setup where you have parallel bars and a box, and you have to get the box to fall through it. The bars with the light red have the sticky wrap on it, the other bars do not. So I sped this up a little bit to help make it not so boring. But boy, this is a really cool brand new prize, and this was way too easy for me. As you can see, I stand up the box and then start moving one end. And I really want to move it without tipping it. You don't want to have it tip down perpendicular to that. You want to try to get it to fall right in, which is really hard because they like to tip. And, oh, shucks. As you can see, I tipped it a little. It's not so bad. So one of the strategies on this particular machine is to actually try to tuck it in. And what I'm doing here is I'm tipping it, and the back of the box I want to ride on the white bar, because the white bar is slippery and slidey. So if I can get the claw in there and basically push it back on that white bar, it's going to slide the box back far enough. And then when the claw gets out of the way, it should just fall right in the hole. I've won this prize on this machine before. As you can see, it's actually inching closer and closer. And boy, it's just a dog hair away now. Is it going to fall? Oh, you see, it had some really good movement on that. It just kind of straightened it out, and now it is just really, really, really close. And that, for some reason, I kind of like stabbed the bar. Stabbage, cabbage. That's the worst thing. I hate when I stab the bar. And again, I didn't get underneath it. You really need to get the claw all the way down and around and underneath it. So this time I'm like, wait a second. Why don't I try for the back? And that was a good instinct. Yes! Yes! First win. That was awesome. It wasn't really that hard. A lot of these games, especially with the new prizes, they want you to play 20 times. This is such a cool prize. Anything Final Fantasy is very hard to get. It usually disappears. And this was way too easy. So I figured I'm going to win this again. And that's kind of what I want to do is, typically I don't go for a prize I want. I go for a game that it's easy I can win. But this was really a double bonus because this is a prize I really wanted. I have friends that really want Final Fantasy stuff. And, wow, like what a cool brand new prize to get on an easy machine. So again, I'm kind of trying the same strategy where I stand up the box and then I want to slowly move over that corner. Boy, if you notice, I really get good movement. This was a nice claw machine. These are constantly being changed, and this one at this setting had a lot of strength. It was really gripping and pulling over the box. And, you know, not all the machines are like that. You really got to pick and choose what you play on this app. I will give you a foreshadowing and say after I won this a bunch of times, they nerfed it to high heavens, and you couldn't move the box in a millimeter. So, you know, they kind of found the error of their ways and then overcompensated. Boy, look at the movement on that. It's almost... Oh, perfect. That's the ideal situation. It doesn't get stuck. Oh, that's amazing. It's just like so easy a caveman can do it. As you can see, I got it close on those bars. It didn't rotate or fall perpendicular. It just fell right through the bars. Dream scenario. At this point, there was someone that tried to get in to like snipe it, and I won it right in front of their face. I'm like, I got to do this again. As you can see, same. Stand it up, and let's move over this corner. Ooh, it almost tipped it back over. Now, they had actually started at this point to adjust the claw a little bit, and I could feel in my intuition that it was just a slight bit weaker because it was acting a little bit differently. I'd actually won this a couple times off camera as well. So, oh man, if you can see what it did that. That's a bummer. I don't want it down like that. If I can, I want it standing up because it's just a little bit easier to move it in an angle. Alright, good. I was able to stand it back up. So that's kind of like, darn it, I had to waste a bunch of plays. And spoiler alert, this is the last time I played this, because after this they really nerfed it. And there was people that were playing all 20 plays and they could barely move the box. It was a very popular prize. As you can see, I did this in the wee hours, 1 o'clock in the morning, and I kind of got lucky to get a bunch of these in a row. And then the other people started to catch on to me and were trying to win it, but they could not replicate it because they made the claws too weak. Oh, don't tip it, Burrow. Oh, don't tip it. Oh, that's perfect. It's smoking. Oh, yeah. So easy a caveman can do it. Do you see that? It just fell right in. Go back and replay that if you want. It was great. I didn't get stuck perpendicular. It just dropped right in. Dream scenario. Now, I found this awesome figure, this ReZero Starting Life in Another World Rem figure, brand new in like a Chinese kimono. And I won it once off camera, and this thing, I had to like spam the button to get in it. I'm lucky I got back in this. As you can see, there's already someone in the reserved. There's already someone, it disappeared from 0. And that means there's one person waiting. This thing had some crazy movement. Again, I sped it up, but as you can see, the claw is way too strong. It's moving sideways very easily. And I'm kind of just working on the front back. Now that corner, I got some good movement, so I was trying to do that, and oh, that's the kiss of death. You don't want it perpendicular down in that trough. That is really bad. I'm hoping I can salvage it. The claw's strong. Okay, that's really lucky. Now, as you can see, I wasted 2 plays and didn't get anywhere, but it's okay because we didn't go backwards or put it in a bad situation. So the front is going to tip it. I've got to work on this side, or the bottom of the figure. And I got a little bit of movement on that, so I'm just going to keep doing what I know is not going to tip it. Okay, so now it's wholeheartedly sideways in the bars, and this is where you have a couple different things. You can try the front, you can try the back. I wanted to try to scoot that angle over, and I got stabbage cabbage on that pole again. This is the worst. I hate stabbing those poles. You will too if you start playing this. It's going to drive you nuts. And I wanted to pick this up and kind of drop it in there. So maybe I should have kept working on that side, and by the vibration of the flop, I wanted to try to pick the other side up. I kind of got it in the middle, and that was not a great thing to do. Now it's like in this weird spot, like wedged in the bars. I think I made a mistake. Yeah, look at that. It's just like, come on. I mean, it's almost falling, but it's just weirdly kind of like wedged in the bar there. And I'm like, all right, I'm going to have to try for this corner because the front corner is more wedged. And boom, the bell, the bottom of the thing, pushed it in. Oh, yeah. That's another prize. Again, we did it not too many plays. We beat it because we did not need the adjustment. And I just sat here waiting to get back into this game. This game was very popular. It's a very popular prize. I'm lucky I got back in it again. And what we want to do is we want to start moving it sideways. So there's different ways you can do it. You can do front, back. If you work on one side exclusively, then it will get to the point where it's not in the center of the machine anymore. And you're going to have a hard time working on it because it's going to be so far over that you can't get the claw in there. So it's really nice to be able to work front, back, because at all times you really want to try to keep the prize in the very center of the claw machine. So you have room to work by moving left and right, and you're not like jammed up against the wall because the claw, it doesn't move too far off the wall. That was an amazing grab. Look at that. It moved a mile. Okay, so at this point, I'm like, oh man, is this going to tip it? I'm getting nervous. And of course, it almost tipped it. So it's like, I did that last time, and we don't want to do that. So I'm thinking, okay, let's learn from our mistakes, and let's start pushing this. People are already getting in again. As you can see, there's people reserved waiting. They can't wait to steal this prize. I don't know why I decided to go for the back, but I did, and I stabbed the pole. I think that might have been a good thing, because at that point, I'm going for the back again. I just don't learn my lessons. And guess what happened? The same thing happened. You knew it was going to happen. I knew it was going to happen, but I was hoping to just sneak that in. So now I've got a ways to play and hope to reset it. Oh gosh. It's going to get stuck in this trough. Now, it is at kind of like an angle, so if I can slide this over a little, it's not too bad. I'm trying to just slide it over. Okay. So that was probably 4 plays. I stabbed the bar, I knocked it over, and then 2 to reset it that I completely lost. I could have won this 4 plays earlier, but it's okay. Now that's great. As you can see, it's completely parallel. It's starting to fall through. You just got to work one end or the other. I decided to work this end, and it did that, so it was kind of like not the greatest result. I'm like, all right, I'll try the other end. I don't know why, but I did. I was able to reset that corner, and now it's just barely hanging on. So I think the play for this is to hit the front side of the box, and if it lifts it up, it'll kind of bounce it, basically, and hopefully kind of like bounces in. You'll see. Of course, I just missed and tipped it in. Let's go! That's another prize. That's a really, really good figure. So we've already won a bunch of stuff. I found this domino toy. It's basically like you load a stack of dominoes in this train, Sumiku Garashi themed, and then the train will run along your floor and it will deposit the dominoes ready to tip over. That's pretty cool. And supposedly you can make like a curved guide, so it'll go around like a curve and it will just lay the dominoes down for you. So, I think, in my opinion, again, the crane was pretty strong. Strong enough that I could win it and beat the adjustment. I didn't have to have any help. Look at that. If you grab it right, it was really strong. It was picking it up. So, I'm going to try the same thing. I'm going to try to move the front over. Great. I stabbed the corner. DTD, that is not what you want to do. Alright, let's do it the right way. Let's not stab the corner. Then I stab the I stab the bar. Well, can't fix stupid, can you? Alright. 3rd time's the charm. 1 more swipe mic. Alright, now we're getting it moving again. Back on the track. The train is back on the track to win. So, as you can see, when it moves over, you can kind of see the progress because it kind of shows you it inching from the last position. And it is moving. Wow, that time it moved a lot. As this machine got to an angle, it tended to grab more, and you just get more of a lift on it. So, like, wow, look at that. So, it's definitely moving over. It's getting to the point where I don't have any room to work on it. I'm like, not really getting much pushover because I can't, it's too close to the wall. I can't get, I want to go left more and I can't. So at this point, it's time to work on the other side. I got a little bit lagged on that play and it slid back. It's not where I wanted it. I wanted to drop it earlier. Sometimes you do get a lag. Lost a play. Perfectly in there. All right, it didn't do much, but it did move it over. As you can see, it inched over when I went back to the normal view. This should be a good one. Okay, that's fantastic. So, as you can see, we're getting excited. Now, I'm hoping it's not going to get stuck and it's just going to fall right through. But that rarely happens. It usually gets stuck. Oh, okay. Fortunately, as you can see, it just got stuck by the wee corner. So that should only take 1 more play. I just want to try to sweep the leg, as they say in Karate Kid. Sweep the leg. I want to sweep that corner. Just get under that corner and hopefully... Perfect. Yes, we won. Or did we win? And as you can see, nothing is perfect, and I'm waiting, and I'm waiting, and I'm waiting, and I didn't get my win screen. And then the guy just puts the prize back in there. So I had to file a claim. I did get my prize. Didn't take too long. I kept refreshing. I'm like, are you going to give me my prize? So I'm cutting to the next one. I found this game that people are winning. It was kind of a cool setup. This is a traditional Japanese setup. They have a ball that you have to slide through V-bars to the point where it can be punched through. And this was a really cool little Spy Family set. with Anya Forger and the dog and some other stuff. So I was like, everybody likes Spy Family. Let's see if we can win this. The claw was pretty strong. Even if I missed, I was getting like some movement on this ball. And from watching the previous view, it didn't have to go all the way over. It really only has to go to the middle of the machine. So it's like, man, I'm getting some decent movement. One sly trick that the vendors use on these machines is at the start, when the ball's on the top, it's really easy to move. And as the ball goes into that V deeper and deeper, it rubs more and it's much harder to move. So at the end, you're going to see it moving much slower. Like now, at this point, it's like kind of starting to sink into the V. It's rubbing more. It's getting more friction. And this is where it can be frustrating because I'm just getting it on there perfectly, but it's just not moving that far. But don't worry, folks. We're going to get this. The nice thing about this is it's kind of like slow, steady progress. It's not really a stressful game. You can see it's moving slowly but surely, a little bit each time. They put yellow tape around the middle of this, and that's a really interesting thing. I think they used it to tape the two halves of the sphere together, but the yellow tape was a great indicator of, when the middle of it was kind of close to the pole, because I could see that yellow tape getting to the point where it's touching each side, and then I know that it's barely resting on those poles, and it's going to be ready to punch at the top. Boy, it didn't move that much. You can see the yellow tape's getting lower and lower. Man, one more time. Let's get a good move on this. It's just getting harder to move. It's sinking down in there. I'm kind of trying to snag it in the back underneath it because that's going to help move it. The yellow tape is actually right on the white bars right now. As you can see, it's just down in there. So now it's time to stab. Figured I'd move it over one more time. And it's not moving. It's just wobbling. It's getting to the point where it's down in the bars. So this is, I try to stab it with the opposite claw, and I just didn't hit it right. But it still went down. It still wobbled. I didn't lose any progress. One more time. Now I got my lineup. I want to stab it with the opposite claw. It's a perfect angle, and it just drops right through. We got the Anya Forger playset. Oh yeah, another win. Boy, we're racking up the wins tonight. No adjusts. This is really good. Alright everybody, so we won a ton of prizes. I showed you some pretty cool setups, the standard box setups, in their generic boxes and in their figures, and how to win those and how to knock those over relatively stress-free. You got to pick a machine that's strong enough. We also won the ball setup, which is kind of a traditional Japanese setup, something that you wouldn't see in America. We won a ton of really cool Japanese prizes. They shipped them to your house, free airmail. And again, this is the Tokyo Catch app. Please see the other videos that I've done on this app for more cool wins. I will continue to do this series. I hope you enjoyed it. Please ask any questions or comments you have, and like and subscribe as always. Jackpot Mike here. We love you. We'll see you soon with another video. Have a great evening. Bye-bye.